Long before the arrival of Islam or Spanish galleons, the Philippine archipelago may have housed a kingdom so advanced, it rivaled nearby empires, with cities, stone fortifications, skilled mariners, and genetic legacies waiting to be uncovered. Most people view pre-colonial Philippines as fragmented communities of barangays, small coastal chiefdoms trading with Chinese and Malay kingdoms. But this image is now under scrutiny. Archaeologists are unearthing evidence from Laguna, Butuan, Palawan, and Mindoro suggesting massive stone structures, trade networks reaching as far as Srivijaya, Majapahit, and China, and early urban layouts hidden beneath mangroves and alluvial soil. Even more fascinating, ancient DNA recovered from human remains shows surprising links to South Asia and island Southeast Asia, an unrecognized chapter in Philippine history. Recent digs near Laguna Lake revealed stone foundations and house platforms once thought impossible before the 12th century. At Butuan's riverbanks, civilizations built with ashlar stone and used metalwork advanced for their time, far before Spanish records. And off the coast of Palawan, submerged terraces and foundations suggest coastal towns eroded by rising seas, possibly part of a much larger, lost urban civilization. These aren't isolated villages, they're the bones of an empire. Imagine a Philippine kingdom thriving alongside powerful neighbors. Copper trade routes with Champa, or what is now Vietnam. Spice ties to Islamic Srivijaya, ceramic exchanges with Tang Dynasty China. Philippine communities likely hosted diplomats, traders, and scholars, not just fishermen and farmers. Yet, colonial accounts write them out of history. Because when Spain arrived, they called them pagan, primitive, dismissing ancient systems that had stood for centuries. What was the name of this kingdom? We may never know. But the evidence is mounting that it existed. The most revolutionary data now comes from ancient human DNA taken from burials in Laguna and Palawan. Geneticists analyzed mitochondrial DNA and found, well, haplogroups tied to South Asia predating later migrations. There are variants shared with Javanese and Bruneian populations, and traces of Negrito, Austronesian, and early mainland Asian admixture. These genetic markers hint at a multicultural kingdom, one that wasn't isolated, but cosmopolitan and connected. Some modern Filipino communities still carry pockets of these ancient markers, side by side with later Malay, Chinese, Islamic, and European DNA. Your blood might hold a fragment of that lost kingdom. While genetic data layer science on top, cultural artifacts offer a living echo. Ancient Baybayin scripts hint at written communication before Spanish control. Metalwork and jewelry showcase art forms comparable to Majapahit or Srivijaya. Oral epics like Hinalawad and Durangan mention ancient city-states, maritime gods, and dynasties, and festivals that persist today may honor traditions dating back a millennium or more. These threads weave together to reveal a civilization far more complex than previously thought. So why did this empire disappear into obscurity? Well, there are several reasons. The spread of Islam, focused attention on southern sultanates. Spanish colonization, it rewritten history from a European lens. Rising seas and plate tectonics actually swallowed physical structures, and centuries of war and religious conversion destroyed artifacts. Together, these factors erase the kingdom from maps and minds, but thanks to DNA and archaeology, it's resurfacing. Reclaiming this lost kingdom, really changes how we see identity, especially for Filipinos. It validates pre-colonial innovation and governance. It strengthens ancestral pride and national identity. It rewrites history textbooks, including diaspora narratives. And it proves that Filipino culture always belonged on a grand stage, not just as peripheral communities. For the diaspora and young people, discovering this history is, honestly, medicine for the soul. The Philippines wasn't just some isolated outpost. It was actually an important hub in global networks. Think Silk Road, but maritime. Compare it to Angkor, Pagan, and Bagan, which are of course world famous. Picture an empire that thrived on the ocean, instead of on land. Rediscovering this empire enriches Southeast Asian history and, demands recognition on the global stage. Today, fieldwork continues. Palawan underwater archaeologists use LiDAR and sonar. Geneticists apply next-gen sequencing to bone fragments. Historians re-examine colonial writings looking for any mentions of pre-colonial urban centers. It's not just archaeology, it's reclamation, a project of identity, truth, and long-term cultural revival. So here's the shocking truth. Long before Islam, long before colonizers, the Philippines may have had a major kingdom with cities, writing, trade and art, just like its neighbors. Pieces of that kingdom lie beneath rainforests, under villages, and believe it or not, in your DNA. It's time we started calling it what it was. Not primitive, not stateless, but a civilization. Because reclaiming our past isn't just nostalgia, it's rewriting the future, and standing tall on the shoulders of a civilization the world forgot.